am getting ready to introduce you to one of the most powerful women that I know. And I had the privilege. Do we have Sophia of her picture? I don't know if we have her picture. Uh, um, and she happens to be my blood cousin. And we've been blood as long as we've been born, but we just danced around each other a little bit. And when I tell you, how many of you know there are times when the universe, God, the divine shifts you? And when I went back to the mainland, I said, I'm coming to Flint, where she lives. I was there probably 10 or 11 days. And it changed me, and it changed the people that were around us in that circle. And she spoke some things into my life that I wanted to slap her. You know how you just want to slap somebody? And I spoke some stuff into hers too. She ain't listening, but I did. But I wanted to just tell you a little bit about her. She is an author. She has Falling Into Your Purpose is one of the most inspiring books. She takes stories of real life people who have come through the greatest of tragedies that you thought it was over for them and how they found their way into their purpose. She is a real estate mogul. She owns half of Flint, Michigan. And she started because her mother said, buy that house across the street. And she was 22 years old and hasn't stopped yet. And she teach people through a program called Rehabbing the Hood, how to go in and buy property, get it at auction, rebuild it. And it's building equity in the community. She's an amazing woman. She has a book series called Zeus and Deuce. It's a 10-book series, and she goes around reading to kids. One of the dogs is a stray, and the other one lives in a nice, comfy house, and they change places. And whoo, it's great. She's a television and radio host. She does amazing things. She's a powerful woman with a message. And so I'm going to call up my beloved Sophia Janell Taylor. Flint, Michigan Queen. Flint, Michigan Queen. Can't y'all see we related? Yes. And she's a singer. Oh, I left that. She does so many things. What's about to happen here? You about to get laid, girl. You know, you got to turn around the other way. See? You got a face. I forgot how to get laid. I don't even know which way to do it. And she's funny. She's a comedian and she's an actress. Don't listen to her. Yeah. She had me laughing so hard and going around Flint. And what was that thing you had us in? I don't know. A roasted thing. She drove me all around the three-wheeler. Can y'all believe I was three-wheeler?
Yeah, she had me doing all kinds of crazy things when she came to visit. Can you guys hear me out there? Yeah. Wonderful. I am so excited to be here. Aloha. Aloha. I've always wanted to say aloha and be in Hawaii. I'm so excited to be here. Yes, it is my first time, and I got laid my first time. Look at here. Yes, I'll be back to get laid. I'll be back. Like she said, my name is Sophia Janell Taylor, and I am a Flint, Michigan native. I've lived, yes, we got a Grand Rapids in the house. Come through, yes. So, like she said, I do so many different things. I'm a singer, an actress, a television show creator and host, an activist. I do a mean ham bone. I do so many different things. And everything I do, I love. If I don't love it, I don't do it. I have a saying, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. No in-betweens. That's how I live my life. So I have a question for you all. Do you all know the difference between being alive and living your life on purpose? Is there a difference? Yes. There is a difference, isn't there? There are so many people that are just simply alive and going through the motions. They're not living their lives on purpose. And, sometimes life can get in the way, and that is our excuse for not living our life on purpose. So I have a story. And anybody that knows me knows that Sophia tells stories. It's just, it's one of the things I do. God made me that way. Ever since I was a child, I would look at things differently, and I would listen to people's stories, and I would just ponder on them. I think it's probably why I became an author. I'm an author of 15 books at this point in time, and I also have a publishing company. Glory to God. Nothing but God. So I have a story that I would like to share with you. Okay, so my parents had 4 children. I'm the last. I'm the little baby. But my sister, when we're 10 years apart, my sister, when I was a little girl, I would look at her and I knew that she was a bit different from the rest of us. So my family, my entire family, everybody's gifted. Everybody sings, acts, writes, produces, paints, draws. Everybody's gifted, like we're spilling over with gifts. And my oldest sister, she's the same, but she was a little bit different. So it's almost like she was in the wrong tribe. And I left out the fact that we're very silly people. We joke constantly. And so I can remember being a kid when my other siblings and I would be joking and laughing about things. And she would look at us in her Diana Ross voice, and she would say, "I don't think that's funny." And so we'd be looking at her like, "Oh, it's hilarious," And again, she would say, "Well, it's not funny to me. It's just how she was." I don't even think she was a fan of soul food. Like, she wasn't crazy about the city that we were in. She didn't really have like a best buddy, a best friend. She was unique. But I remember at a very young age, the only thing I knew about California came from her. And she would always say, "I just want to sing and live in California." She would always say it. "I just want to sing and live in California." And I'm like, okay, well, sing, go, But I could tell, it was almost like she was in the wrong tribe. I mean, seriously, looking back on it now, she was just very unique, very different. Well, as life would have it, Flint, Michigan is a small industrial town. It's pretty much the birthplace of General Motors. And so most people know when they graduate from high school and possibly go to college, they're going to work for General Motors. Well, we pretty much knew that that wasn't going to be Van, because she just wanted to sing and live in California. So time moves on. I get older, she gets older. And at the age of probably about 17 or 18 years old, she became pregnant. And so, yes, that could alter the living in California and singing. So she became pregnant at 17 years old, and she done what most people think they should do. I've got to do what I've got to do. So she got married, and she became a young mother, a young wife. I watched her juggle 3 different jobs. She worked for AAA. She was a secretary at a school, and she was the teacher at a modeling agency. But those people that was closest to her, they knew she wasn't happy. We knew she wasn't happy. She was miserable because it's not what she wanted to do. It's not where she wanted to be, but she pushed through. So the years move on. And her and her husband, they get a divorce. My niece walks her way into teenagehood, and my sister began dating a man. And she could not push down I want to live in California and sing. But the naysayers around her, they will tell her what you need to do, what you can't do. And so many times we live our lives based off of other people's fears or other people's failures because they didn't do it, or they couldn't do it, or they didn't have the courage to do it. And so she stayed for a while. And then this new man that she was dating, he told her, "I think you should just go, because you're miserable, and miserable people make other people miserable." And that's exactly what was happening. She was making everybody around her miserable because it's not the life that she wanted to live. But, you know, the responsibilities that everybody was telling her, no, you can't do this and you need to do this. My sister found the courage one day to finally start living in her purpose. She left. She moved to California. And it was a struggle in the beginning because when she first got there, everything inside of her mind told her she was wrong, you know, you can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this, but then that other voice was like, no, I'm going to do it. She was homeless. She lived in her car for a while. She auditioned for all kind of shows and all kind of singers and background gigs, and she gigged in different places. And then one day, somebody came in and saw her singing, and the person was from one of the people in the Michael Bolton crew. And so afterwards, they went back and they told Michael, I saw this chick in a club and she was singing. We've got to get her, you know, because I think they needed somebody else to sing background. So they approached her. They asked her if she would come and audition. My sister went to that audition. She took her nerves, but she took her talent. She sat there and she sang. She sang like her life depended on it. After she finished, they all convened over to the side and they said, how would you like to go on the road with us? My sister dropped down to her knees and she started screaming, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because they didn't know what she had been going through. But she was finally starting to live her life on purpose. She quieted the voices of the naysayers. So she went on the road with them. She found her tribe. She was traveling to places that she had never been before. I mean, she was all over the country and even out of the country. She was enjoying herself. She sang on the Oprah show, and even Michael Bolton had her singing a duet with him. She sang some of everywhere. And then when that gig was over, she wound up getting the biggest one of her life. She wound up touring with Yanni. I don't know how many of you know who Yanni is. Yes, that was a big one because Yanni is an international artist and he's an instrumental artist. So she was in Greece. She sang at the Taj Mahal. But for the first time ever, Yanni had someone singing an actual song on one of his albums, and it was her. He got her to sing a song called Love Is All. My sister sang that song like her life depended on it. She was living her life on purpose. And so after that tour was over, she went back to her home, which was California. She stayed there. She continued, you know, doing what she does. And then she noticed that there was something going on in her body. Something wasn't right, and it was being consistent. She went to the doctor. The doctor said it's probably fibroids. They checked her. They said, we misdiagnosed you. You've got stage 4 leiomyosarcoma. So when she called me and she told me the news, I'm like, Leo, who? What is that? So I said, would you like me to come out? Would that make you feel better? She said, no, they'll figure it out. I didn't listen to her. I went on about my business. I flew in town. So they told her it was stage 4. And I get to San Diego, I knock on her door, and she's like, who is it? I'm standing there like, it's me. She's like, oh my gosh, I told you not to come. I pulled the cot out. I stayed in the room with her for about a week, and we talked about so many different things. We talked about her regrets. We talked about the things she was most proud of. We talked about so many different things, but we also talked about the fact that she chose to live her life on purpose. That was one of the things she did not regret to do. Long story short, my sister, she passed away at the young age of 56 years old. But what she did not pass with was her dreams and her desires. She found a way to live her life on purpose. You all, if someone were to tell you that you had something like that you only had a certain time to live, what would you reminisce on? What kind of regrets or what kind of things would you wish that you had more time to do? I think every day we should live our lives like that. We should live our lives like we know the exit date. And so many of us, we don't. We don't do that. So my sister left me with Again, the lesson of living your life on purpose. I had a dream the day before she passed away. She came to me clearly. She said, Sophia, tell me what you want to do. She said, do everything you think you want to do. And I'm standing over her bed in the dream, and I'm like, okay. And she said, no, I mean, do everything you think you want to do. And I said, okay, I try to live my life like that. She said, good. The next morning, I got a call from her best friend, Pat Hawk, that said, I'm sorry, Van transitioned. But I'm grateful that she lived her life. She chose herself, in the end. So I have some questions for you all. The lessons, when I asked you all in the beginning, is there a difference between living your life on purpose or just being alive? There is a difference. I think number one, you have to know who you are and whose you are. When you know whose you are, oh, that's amazing, because God made you in the image of him. And there is nothing impossible. You have to quiet the voices from your past. Quiet the voices from people that did not have the courage to go after their dreams. So often, we take advice from people that don't have the courage or didn't have the courage to live their dreams, and so they project their fears onto you. So it doesn't matter about your past. What matters is the gifts that you have and the things that God put on you. If you know you're supposed to write or sing or paint or travel or give back to the community, find a way to do that. Life is short. God will meet you halfway because he gave you those desires. God gave you all of those desires and all of those gifts. He'll meet you halfway. So, I think I'm being called. They're telling me very soon that I'm going to have to get off the microphone. Okay, but I do have questions for you all. Yes, and so I think they're going to pass out some paper to you guys. Because again, the mission here is to live your life on purpose. So many people, again, they're just here. They're just alive. It's amazing to me when I ask people what they want to do. So tell me what you want to do. What's amazing is out of their mouths, they'll say, well, I'm going to tell you what I don't want to do. I don't want to work a job that da-da-da-da-da. And I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want the man that da-da-da. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Because I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I asked you what you wanted. And you would be amazed to know the amount of people that don't know what they want. Most of us don't know what we want. And that's okay, because I'm not here to bash you over the head for not knowing. But once you say to yourself, I really don't know what I want, it's time for you to figure it out. It's time for you to spend some time with yourself and figure out what it is that you want out of life. Because think about it. God grants you the desires of your heart. But he can't do it if you don't know what you want. Just as simple as you say, I got a taste for some coffee. And you pull up to Starbucks and you got the coffee. You can do that with your life. It's just like ordering from the catalog. But you have got to spend time with yourself, figuring out what you want. Okay, so the pieces of paper are passed out? No? Okay, I've got a small little exercise for you guys, just a small one. Just a very, 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 very small one. Grave sites are filled with people that got buried with all of those gifts and talents in them. There's some talented people over there in those grave sites. That won't be us, right? That will not be us. Yes. We will find a way to live our lives on purpose. And the fact that you all are here today, it's exactly what you're doing. You're choosing to figure it out, because we're all just so amazing, such amazing individuals. Okay, so you guys have your paper? Okie dokie. All righty. So.
And she does voices too.
What are you talking about? Oh, cut it out. Yeah, and it's true, I do. Yeah, the children's book series that I have. Yeah, it's done in a British, dialect. I have so many different people inside of my head, it's ridiculous. I can't help it. All right, I want you guys to write down about 3 of your gifts. 3 of the gifts that you believe, these are the things that God gave to me. And it's undeniable. These are mine. God made us all so very unique and different. We all bring something different to the table. Okay. I want you guys to write down about 3 of your, is that the Sandman? Get off the stage? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Write down about 3 of your desires. Things that you want. Now, how often do we do this? We get so busy in life doing things for other people and living our lives till we don't spend time talking to ourselves and saying, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. Okay, so now I want you to write down about 3 things that you think, what do you think it would take to do the things that you want to do? Money, relocation, peace of mind, healing, whatever it is. Just write those things down. What do you think it would take to do those things that you want to do? And now I want you to write down how it will make you feel to be able to accomplish those things. How would it make you feel? This is the perfect music. Thank you so very much. I feel like dancing on my tiptoes. And the last question is, who will be affected the most by you choosing these things? Who will be affected the most when you choose yourself and you live on purpose? Wonderful. I've enjoyed my time with you. Yes.
You might want to grab that yellow mic. If you have a question for Sophia, you can raise your hand. We're going to probably take 2 or 3. I have one that came from Zoom. It says, what do you start with when trying to heal yourself from your past?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would probably say forgiveness. Most definitely. It would be forgiveness. Because oftentimes, even if you're the victim, somehow, some way, we wind up blaming ourselves. Strange, isn't it? Yeah. But I think forgiveness would be a start. Yeah, forgive yourself and forgive those that have done you wrong. That's the first thing. Forgiveness.
Excellent. Anyone in the room have a question? Who has a question?
Oh,
all
okay.
right. Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yes, I hear you. She's like my...
I want to know if you're, how your blood cousins, mothers or dads?
Dad.
Our dads. First cousin.
Cousins. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
We
You had a question. She has a question right up here.
What do you do to ground yourself when your dreams feel too big?
Oh. Right, so I'm going to repeat her question. What do you do to ground yourself when your dreams feel too big? Well, my answer to that is there is no such thing as a dream too big. Because who gave you that dream? God gave you that dream. There is nothing too big. If God gave it to you, please, there's no such thing as too big. Be grateful. Say thank God when you see a vision like, thank you, I see it. I mean, really, because as God gave it to you, you didn't like conjure it up yourself. God gave you that dream. So I think you would be doing yourself and God a justice by moving forward. So you can have a testimony to say, God gave me this. Like we're standing here today because somebody had a vision. Somebody had a vision and now we're here. That's how that works. So there is no dream nor vision too big. Yes. All right. Anybody else? Okay.
I'm good.
What would you say is...
Wait, we can't hear you. Put you on the mic. That's Tana, she's soft talking. You're going to hear her.
Sing loud.
You're going to hear her.
What advice would you give to people that were in a situation similar to your sister, where they were still in the process of doing the things that they might not be as passionate about or out of responsibility or whatever, like to transition from that to living on purpose?
Oh, yeah, right. At some point, I guess, going through the everyday humdrum life, I think the system in the world, it designs us to go and punch the clock and work somebody else's dream. It's designed that way. So it does take a lot of courage. Yep. So if you feel like you can't really find it in yourself because you're on that treadmill really going nowhere and you can't find it in you and you're the first person, nobody in your family or in your circle has stepped outside, I believe you need to pray to God and say, God, give me the strength. Just give me the strength because you know what I want to do. You know what I want to do because one, you created me. And two, you gave me this dream. So give me the strength to push through. Give me the strength and the courage to just push through to the other side. Yes. So I believe that's a prayer one, especially when you're, somebody was talking about procrastination and procrastinators and how we may say, I'm a procrastinator. Sometimes it's not that you're a procrastinator. Sometimes you are just in a circle of people that aren't dreamers. And so if you're in the wrong tribe or the wrong circle, yeah, it's like you're fighting against the stream. So some of that, you need to change your circle.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Drop off some stuff.
Get around some like-minded people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my answer.
Woohoo! Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You did an amazing job. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to be here.
And Sophia does have her book outside if you'd like to purchase it. Yes, that'd be less for her to take back. So we're going to make sure it all get gone while she's here.
Yes.
It is an amazing book, and she is an amazing woman. I'm so glad you